Hey guys, AJ here, back with a Friday afternoon special for you. So yeah, guys, it's Friday. I hope everyone's having a great week. I hope everyone's week wasn't too stressful. Yeah, I hope it's kind of warm where you are because it's a little cold where I am. This year's weather has been a little bit odd, but hey, anything beats snow because guys, I hate the snow. I can't stand it. So, so the next place I move is going to be south and warm. That's for sure. So yeah, guys, today we are going to talk about people who do bad things to children and how they are treated in prison. So, guys, I have never been to prison. I've never been in trouble with the law, but I had a job where I dealt with people who did that type of stuff, right? And yeah, man, like I said, I have no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing for these people. I think that if you get caught doing that and the evidence is undeniable, right? Then one strike and you're out. Um and yeah, that's it. Um so yeah, I don't feel bad for what happens to these people, male or female in prison. I just don't. And so we're gonna go over a couple of articles and some videos um and get into it. But before we do that, guys, please remember to like, subscribe, drop comments. It really helps to keep this channel going. Um, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs, hopefully by the middle of the year. I think I'm almost at 700. So the 1,000 subs is going to be the Jeff Sokol party, and then guys, we have the first um Lauren Armstrong series is going to start next week on Thursday. So I'll keep everyone posted there and we can see what we're going to do. And yeah, guys, so here we go. Let's look at this one here. Let me share my screen. And guys, I'll have to censor some of the words so we don't get yeeted off of YouTube again. So Florida police doesn't come for us. Now, guys, there's a Google add-on that you can do that even censors words on your screen. I am not doing that, guys. I'm I'm not. I mean, if I get yeeted for having like certain things and on a word, I mean certain words in text, I mean that's just, come on, guys. I'm not gonna do that. Um so yeah, this article is called "Prison is Living Hell for Pedos," right? Um Luna's in the house and Josh is in the house. He said, "Gonna put a child lock on your own a computer." You know, there's some people who actually do that. I mean, we have to do that um because they rely on YouTube so much for their revenue that each video counts. And like, hold on, give me one second. So they spend all this time and effort on a video, and then one word could possibly demonetize. So they have to do all this, flim flam and rigmarole and skullduggery to make sure that their videos don't get demonetized. Guys, this is a really really fun hobby for me. Like, I make some money because you guys drop money on the Cash App, and once I get 1,000 views, I can get super chats. But I know for a fact, getting into the TCAP game, that YouTube ad revenue is probably not going to be something for me, only because look at the TCAP content in and in itself is not friendly to YouTube. It's just not. So, but okay. So this is called "Prison is Living Hell for Pedos." And guys, we all know this, right? We all know that if you go to prison and you have any type of these charges, you're in some trouble, you know? Um Yeah. It- and yeah, I'm checking my pockets, guys. I have no sympathy at all because I believe that if you, especially if you do bad stuff to young children, right? You're basically destroying the person that they could have been. Now, I'm not saying that you can't recover from this, but that person is irreparably damaged, and that's for any sex crime, right? Adult male, adult female, or children, right? You are irreparably damaging that person, and they will probably never be the same. So you know what? You deserve the rest of your life getting bad things done to you. So, okay, here we go. So it's called In Prison, Fellow Inmates Derisively Called Pedos, Chesters, Tree Jumpers, and Short Eyes. Guys, what is. I've heard Short Eyes, but what is a tree jumper? I've never. I've never heard that one before. Okay, prisons can be a menacing place for people like the former a Catholic priest, John Gorgon, who killed himself, who deleted himself in his cell, or for other priests, or for other bad guy priests working their way through the criminal justice system. If you take uh if you take out an offender like this former priest, maybe the person who took him out thought he'd make him. Oh, so they're trying to say that. So what have that if that people go after these guys to to make a name for himself. Yeah, guys. I mean, we know most of this already, right? So for those of you guys who are not in the United States, who might be in like Germany, France, where the prison system's way different, you can make a name for yourself by mistreating those who have sex crimes, right? So let's just say that you're like a that you're scared, right? And you go in there and you're like, oh no, like I don't want to be victimized. You can earn respect by just going up to one of these guys, uh, and getting them, getting them any way you know how, bludgeoning or whatever, and then everyone goes, oh, okay, that guy's the guy to respect. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. Cat Wags is in the house too. Myla's in the house. Luna's in the house. He said a person who hides in trees and puts the guy in the ghillie suit. Oh man! And you guys know for a fact that cop that had that ghillie suit, he probably bought it. He's like, I'm a cop now. And he went out to some what is it called? Some military surplus store and was like, I'm gonna need this. And then finally his day came. The heavens opened up. Chris Hansen came down from above and it said, look, man, does anyone have a ghillie suit? He's like, oh, I have a ghillie suit, Chris. I can use this. So, yeah, let me do this real fast. 1 second. Okay, so Little McNuggets is in the house too. So it says, taking out a bad person would gain the deleter a lot more respect among the inmates. In fact, Gilgan's accused a deleter, Joseph Druce, looked upon this guy as a prize and plotted the deletion. Wow. Though officials in some northeastern states question the idea of an automatic social hierarchy. Among prisoners based upon their offenses, most agree that if there is one, people who mess with kids and snitches occupy the lowest rungs. That's true, guys. Now, guys, they can't admit that they know that this happens, right? and they can't admit that they allow it to happen. And here's the thing is, guys, for those of you who don't know, the corrections officers allow this to happen, right? The only people who dislike uh people who do bad things to kids worse than the prisoners are the officers, and the officers will let the prisoners do what they want to them. You know what I'm saying? So these guys are placed in protective custody, and then once their crime has become known, they usually don't make it without protective custody. And guys, they have computers and the internet in prison. A lot of times they have cell phones too. So all guys, if you were to get in trouble, so let's just say we had Stan, right? And Stan got in trouble for this type of stuff. All of that's public knowledge. So all they have to do is have your name and date of birth. And you don't even have you can't hide your charges. And then it's man, oh man, oh man. Let me see. There there are a lot that can make it as long as they don't brag about the offense. If they do talk, they'll get beat up or even deleted. Now, guys, this is in 2015, and a lot of it has become even worse because they're out of room. So oftentimes they will put these guys in with regular people. This could mean that they're at risk. 83,000 state prison inmates were people on the RSO that had committed these crimes against a person under the age of 18. 83,000. Just 56 state and federal prisoners out of a population of about 1.3 were actually deleted by other inmates. Um, but unpopular prisoners can be bothered in other ways. People who mess with kids are at risk of being deleted, having their food taken, having their cells defecated and urinated in. Their life is truly a living hell. Wow. And this is from a prison rights activist. Oh, really? Oh, no. No, there's Yeezy ads on my. Oh, no. Oh no, sorry guys. Matter of fact, you know what? Here, I'm gonna drop the link, you guys. So forever who wants to come on early, go for it. Here you go, guys. Anyone who wants to jump in, feel free. Just remember, guys, please refrain in the chat, and if you are on, please try not to swear. Don't use any bad or controversial language, or they'll mess up the algorithm. So, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I thought it was the and you they said we know that they kicked Kanye out for now, but they're gonna keep calling him Yeezys, right? Okay. Some reports describe the guy in this case that deleted this Catholic priest as a member of the white guys that only like white guys. I'm trying to censor my language, guys. In particular, Drews, who's serving a life sentence for deleting. Oh man, a gay man who paid. Oh, man, that's terrible. Has a long-standing phobia, it appears, towards LGBTQ people. With such a background, critics, including Walker and Kazi Torre, an ex-convict and prisoner support worker who still visits prisons, are asking how Drews could have been placed in protective custody so near. Oh, so this was in protective custody. So he was already and this dude got to him. Oh man, that's crazy. Walker cited a culture of looking the other way in prison. Wow. Yeah, guys, these cops, they don't care. They don't care. no one wants to be in close proximity to these people knowing what they've done. And the funniest part is, and Josh, Luna, who else? We have all had this conversation before. Luna, hey. We've all had this conversation before. If we haven't, we will. People in the United, there are this group of people who want to advocate for these men and women who do this stuff, but then they don't want them in their neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we have to free them, and they have to be reintegrated into society. Okay, well, there's an open house on your street. Oh, I don't want them on my street.
Well, in Turkey, we have a word, a stick with poop on two sides. Basically, no matter which side you like grab, you'll get poop in your hands.
On your hands.
Yeah, like that kind of a situation.
Okay, have you? Okay, how? I know that you live in Germany, but how are the prisons in Turkey? I guarantee you that they're probably not a place that anyone would want to go, right?
Good question. So, I mentioned this before. My dad is a soldier, so I know what the prison is like from my dad. So there's weirdly there's respect among people in prison, but there's definitely no like no mercy to people who are pedos or like artists.
Yeah,
you
can
me?
say yes. So you can say grape, like the fruit grape, GRAPE. That works, but just don't say the R word.
Yeah, the grapists. So basically, there was a situation, like I can't remember, a long time ago. A young girl who was like 18 or something. A bus driver did the deed on the girl, and it was, AJ, it was horrible. Like, a lot of women at the time felt so afraid of even taking the bus.
Oh wow.
So he went to prison naturally, and immediately the guy was deleted.
Wow.
Like, immediately.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, it happens, and I don't feel bad.
Yeah, me neither.
I just don't. And there's people. Look, we have enough evidence now where they have DNA evidence and other things now to where, I mean, mistakes do happen. Yes, fine. But oftentimes they have DNA evidence. They have text messages. They have enough evidence now to where, like, they cross their T's and dot their I's when it comes to children. I mean, to these types of crimes. Yes, there are accusations that aren't real, but if it's truly an actual case where they have proof, you know what I'm saying? Like these priest dudes here. I mean, they had a lot of evidence, you know what I'm saying? So, but what's funny is they had that episode of Locked Up Abroad, and in a lot of places like South America, all the guards do is keep the inmates in the prison, like, and the inmates run the prison, right? Literally run the place. All the guards do is like stand at the walls, and this guy, he got caught trying to run some type of drugs, and luckily he could play the guitar, and the head drug lord guy was liked him to hearing him play the guitar. But he said, yeah, he would watch as they would just slaughter all these dudes who were doing bad stuff to women and children. Yeah, so yeah. Hey Josh, how are you? Are you muted? Okay. But so here we go. Okay. So this guy who they're talking about, hold on. Okay. So this activist is saying, for this guy who was in prison for already killing an for deleting an LGBT plus person, he's seeing this guy every day. So this stuff has got to be coming up inside of him. So we're spending all this money on high tech prisons. This guy got deleted, and they want to blame it on the crazy guy who's running this. He's basically saying, "How did this happen in this prison?" And the thing is, they let it happen. You know what I mean? So Candace in the house too. What's going on, guys? So the California officials describe a good deal of uh, affiliation with gangs among the state's prison population, crime-based hierarchy among inmates. Ironically, they said that deleting someone either at the top or the bottom of the poll will garner respect for the deleters among fellow inmates. So people who do bad stuff to kids and high-profile deleters both tend to be given protective custody unless they are deemed tough or discreet enough to get along in general pop. But things are different in other parts of the country. So this guy's from Connecticut. Ramsey says, Ed Ramsey, spokesman for the Connecticut Department of Corrections. Ramsey does not see a clearly. Okay, so guys, this is what I've heard while watching like jail stuff is on the West Coast of the United States. There is a lot of the Hispanics stay with the Hispanics, the whites stay with the whites, the blacks stay with the blacks, right? But if you go to places like the East Coast or whatever, it's a little bit different, you know. And then I've heard that the Midwest, because of a lot of the opioids and a lot of the other drugs, the Midwest is one of the only places where, I mean, where the jails went from having a good amount of minorities to it's almost predominantly like 90 something percent white because of all the meth and all the other stuff there. So I watched this special. It was in Illinois, and they were saying that now for the first time ever, it's like there's hardly any minorities in the prisons there because it's all about these opioids and stuff. And hold on. So that's pretty much the end of that article. And let me see. We have a video here from the Dope Sick show. And this guy, he's pretty funny. He's kind of blown up. He went from 0 to like 14,000 subs in like 3 months. But he has a Luna, check out his accent, right?
Okay, here we go.
Because I think that he's from West Virginia or whatever. But I was on a stream with another guy who was talking about I forget what, and then he called in, and he's hilarious. But the way that he tells stories is really, really funny. So his channel is also where like he's been in jail, and he talks about prison and how just guys just please don't go to prison, right? So his whole thing is just make awareness of that. But
legally in the way that could possibly help me with my PTSD dreams. I'm at the end of my line as a preacher now, and I hope I can get like so. Basically, there was a commotion in a tent. It was a 15-year-old girl. And, it's not like one of those after the facts. It's, letting it be known you're not wanted. But this person wasn't hearing that. So anyway, like people are just going to let that go. You see these hippies with dreadlocks and stuff, but I will give it to these hippies right here.
So long story short, he was saying that he got out of jail, and he was out in the woods because he always ends up just like he's one of those like Rolling Stone dudes where he ends up just like going on hikes and on adventures, and he ended up like in the woods, and there were these hippies having like a like living in these tree houses and like having spiritual awakenings, and he was chilling, hanging out with these people. And then he said that this happened. So
these GDF mothers, they did stuff this day, and it's one of the meanest things I've ever done to a human. Oh, it's so much better than the typical stuff that you could imagine of. Oh my God, it was so creative. Anyway, the first person who got in the tent said, yeah, it it was happening. Like it was happening. It was it being in progress. This was a chomo attack on a minor. This guy is probably about 30 or so.
Yeah.
I know this is serious, but the dog is so adorable.
I know, right? Yeah. His dog is really, really cute.
Not dreadlock, but just like creepy, dirty guy. Could have been a drifter for all anybody knows. But this guy knew what he was doing was wrong. And, they snatched him up and they got him, and I'm with them. And I'm like, get him. I've always had a thing for that. You know what I mean? I mean, what kind of man are you? You're going to do something to women and kids, or, you're not wanted. You're going to go, impose yourself. What is that?
And that's the one thing that I think that a lot of people don't understand, right? Because we have this thing where people think that the United States or the West has this culture of this, right? Oh, there's a culture that supports bad things happening to no, that's not true. I would say prison is a great culture because the cops let it happen. But in general, most men do not will protect women in general. It's a small group of men that can do a whole bunch of damage. Think about it. If you're on an island and there's 100 men, 100 women, and there's 2 men doing bad stuff, those 2 men can do a lot of damage, right? But I feel like society now takes what those 2 men do and will paint the other 98 men as being bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. And we have this sharpshooter fallacy where you can name every day you were sick last year, but you can't name all the ones you weren't. So you can name all the jerks you've ever met, but you can't name all the nice people that you met, because these negative things stick out to us, And what I'm saying still is, if there was something happening to a woman on the street, because this has happened to me before, most guys, even at their own detriment, will step in. I had a friend of mine. He lives down in DC, and he's like, he's a very like introverted. I think he's on the spectrum, but he's a great guy. We used to do jiu-jitsu together and stuff. And one day he came in and he had a big bandage on his arm. And I'm like, dude, what happened to your arm? He said, oh, this guy was trying to get up on this lady on the bus. So, and I don't want to say his name. He stepped in, and he was like, hey, now this is a woman that he didn't know. So technically he's under no obligation to help her. And he did anyways, because most men feel the need to. And the guy bit his arm. He bit his arm to the point, where my friend got bit, and then he gave him the old Sparta kick off the bus. You know what I'm saying? And my friend had to go to the hospital, and they had to clean up the wound and then give him like a tetanus shot and all that, so that it didn't get infected. All for a woman he didn't know. So I don't believe that there's this culture of all this stuff. It happens. Yes, it's a small group of people. Just like you look at Ted Bundy, how much dirt he did. One guy was doing all of that mess.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
It's always been a thing. So anyway, get smacked up a little bit. We end up getting these zip ties.
Oh boy.
Hey, Miley Watts, I want to say that was not true. I looked into that, and that was debunked, I think. Because I was like, hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to look. Let me see. Here you go. Hold on. Get this. Narrative that bystanders filmed Philadelphia train grape for gratification is false. The narratives that passengers watched as this happened on a train in suburban Philly last week and filmed it instead of calling the police is false. The prosecutor handling the case said as he asked witnesses to come forward. During the news conference, that other passengers on the train would not have been present for the entire 40-minute interaction and may not have understood what they're saying. People get on off the train at every stop. That doesn't mean when they got on, they see other people interacting and they know it was going on. Hold on. So hold on. So hold on. So the two were holding up phones towards the assault. Okay, so he was trying to touch her or whatever, and then but people didn't know what was going on. So it wasn't an actual like, I mean, it was bad, I guess, but it wasn't what they had said where like people were watching just a straight up sex act going on. It was her, this guy trying to like do some unwanted touching at different stops, and I don't know, but it wasn't like straight up what happened. So hey, you know what? Hey, Josh, if you're still here, who was that guy that was on the train? New Yorker guy shot attackers. This was in the 80s, right? So this guy was on the train. And he was this little skinny white dude, and this is back in the 80s. And these dudes get on the Bernard, that's his name. Here we go. This
1984?
Yes, yeah, Bernard. What's his name? Let me see. So let me know what you guys. Please say great of the R word. Okay. So let me see. Let me know what everyone thinks of this. So this guy right here. Where is one that's not that is not copyright? Let me see. So make a long story short, this guy was on the train. And people, this is back when New York, I mean, there are people who go to Times Square now and they can't believe like how safe it is, right? Because back in the 80s and the 90s, New York was not a fun place to live, right? And people, they used to take the subway, and it was dangerous. They had the guardian angels and all these groups who would go around trying to protect people. And this guy right here, where is he? Come on, dude, stop talking. This guy right here, he was on the train, and then here we go. So these four dudes got on the train, and it was like that scene from Joker where these guys are just gonna mess with him, and they were like, "Hey, give us your wallet," and he goes, and he just pulls out the heater like Charles Bronson, and just starts blasting, and it was like, was he justified? And I don't think that they thought that a lot of the public would agree with him. They were like, look, you got to do what you got to do, because back then it was so dangerous to be on the New York City subway. Now, I'm not for vigilante justice, but at the same time, if your life is in danger, right, you should be able to protect yourself, And there's an old saying: I'd rather be wait, hold on. Candace says. So, anyways, I just started laughing. That's from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah. So, there's an old saying: I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6, right? And it basically means I'd rather be alive and in jail than in a coffin, and that's how I feel, So, but back to where I was. There was another video that I was gonna show you guys. Okay. So, okay. This is Fresh Out, and Fresh Out, this is Big Herc, right? And he's a really he's one of the guys that was like huge when it comes to doing the post prison channels,
Oh.
Because it's so fascinating to hear like what happens in prison. But his channel is dedicated towards guys who get out and do well for himself. So bigger, he's a social media guy. He's a businessman. He flips classic cars. So he did 13 years in prison for a bank robbery, and now he's been out for like 15 years. He's doing really well for himself, and he has my favorite video. Oh, I'm sorry. So my favorite video of his is he had a guy that started learning how to play cards in prison. He figured out that he's really good at playing cards. So all of a sudden he's like this really good poker player, and the guards used to bet on who could win in poker. And one day he lost a hand, and the guards were like, "Will you owe us money?" He's like, "I'm not paying you guys anything." So he got transferred from California to Texas. And he said Texas is the Wild West of the prison system, man. He said that they had a big prison riot, and it was like the white dudes and the black dudes lined up like the Civil War, and then the Hispanics on the other side, and they were like with sticks and pipes and just running at each other like Roman times.
Holy crap! What?
Oh, you say it was crazy, and then but that guy's out of jail now, and he goes to poker tournaments. Like he's almost a world-class poker player, So that's pretty cool. But yes, so this is Big Herc, and that's his channel. But
people find out that you were hanging out with a guy. If you know, obligated to split a molester's wig, and as a prisoner, are you obligated to split a molester's wig? Pretty much, if you know,
I think Josh is trying to talk, but
if you know, you have to
work.
let other people know. Because if people let other people know, pretty much if you know a person's a child molester, if you know, you have to let other people know. Because if people find out that you were hanging out with a guy who was a child
molester, can you hear the sound, Luna?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Molester, and you didn't tell somebody, you're gonna get your wig split.
Oops.
So if you're out there touching on kids, or you're a child molester, or you got busted for having sex with underage, teenagers, whatever the case may be, you go to prison. Somebody's gonna find out about what you're locked up for. Whether it's a guard who don't like you, who tells somebody else what you're in there for,
yep.
Or somebody has a person on the street go online and check your paperwork. But one way or the other, they're going to find out you're a child molester and you're going to get your wig split. So if you find out that the guy's a child molester, you might as well just slap him upside the head and split his wig yourself so you don't get your wig split. So that's what happens to child molesters. They get their head busted. So the Subway boy, you're going to get your head busted.
Yeah, because this was right when Jared from Subway got busted doing stuff like that. So he's like, sorry, Jared, you better be careful because someone's going to get you, in
the prison. My question is, we have another email from another fan, and they asked us, my question is, how do inmates negotiate with guards to get what they want? Well,
there's a lot of guards, guys, who get caught bringing in cell phones and contraband, all types of stuff for inmates, man. And now, have you seen, hold on, guys. Oh, look at this. Check this out. Look at this, Luna. Look at this.
Oh my god. Oh jeez.
4 by the same guy. And look, of course it's in Baltimore.
Wait, what? Hold on. Yeah. Am I reading this correctly? Female prison guards. Oh my goodness.
By the same guy, yeah. This is the American prison system. 4 female prison guards in Baltimore. Look at this saying. Fell pregnant. No.
Oops.
They chose to have unprotected relations with an inmate. According to the authorities who busted a major smuggling gang, 2 of the women tattooed the inmate's name on their bodies. Oh
what?
No. And more Yeezys. Oh no.
We have cursed your algorithm forever.
Oh no. Look, these 4 women are among 25 people who face federal charge. But this happens all the time. All the time. All the Cartoon Blue. What's going on, man? Yeah, it's Baltimore, as they say. They say here, they say Baltimore. You know how this Voldemort? They say Voldemort like they say Baltimore like, and then they also say instead of do, like I will do that. They say do. It's weird.
Dude.
Anyway, dude.
I can't even do that. Dude.
13 female corrections officers, 7 inmates, and 5 alleged co-conspirators. No, Josh, no, they don't. They don't because that would be discrimination, right? So to say that men should work in men's prisons and women should work in women's prisons, that would be discrimination in the workplace. So they don't do that, right? And then also now they are allowing some of the inmates who identify as the opposite gender to be in those prisons too. So here we go. The indictment says the ringleader, Tavon White, reportedly made $16,000 in 1 month from smuggling contraband. The officers, Jennifer Owens, Katara Stevenson, Shania Brooks, and Tiffany Linder, who are also facing charges allegedly fell. Just look at the reveal. Owens had Tavon tattooed on her neck, and the other one had it on her wrist. Oh no!
These ladies are insane. Wow.
No.
I just when you're done, I want to actually explain something.
Sure, no, go for it.
Let's do it when you're done with the whole, after prison thingy.
Look, there he is, Josh. Look
that is the
look
guy?
at the stud muffin.
Wow.
Oh man! Oh
But
man! Oh man!
interestingly, some women actually have something against these you know like prisoners or something, like criminals in general, because I think it comes from the ancient DNA where women used to choose the strongest partner,
Yeah,
etc. Like,
well, but it's all okay. So here's a couple things too. Is number one, right? A lot of these guys have nothing to do all day, right? And you have a lot of okay women who have who have really okay. There's a type that works in corrections, right? I'm sorry, like the type of guys who work in corrections, and okay, but think of the type of women. They probably aren't the most, outgoing, the most confident, right? So here you
yeah, I
have this
agree.
guy, and
Mhm.
they show up, and this guy is just hitting on him all day long, right?
Yeah, they
And
probably felt, yeah,
yeah,
that's nice.
and
Yeah,
this happens too because a lot of the prisons in Texas, Florida are private prisons, and they build them out in the middle of nowhere. So you have this small town, and you have these women out there, and these guys from these areas come, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they're dangerous. Woo, you know what I mean? And yeah, so over time they just
like,
and look, I'm not trying to act like they're victims, like they're being worn down, right? But look, you lock these people in the same area for 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, something's gonna happen, so
yeah, as much as we want to deny it, like, it happens, dude. Like, uh and like, it was coming from the fact that I was remembering, like, what was the serial killer's name? Hold on.
who
Ted Bundy.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he had insane amounts of fangirls. Even now, like, don't go to TikTok if you don't want to,
Oh yeah,
like, leave
but
scar forever.
but remember Jeffrey Dahmer did too, and
Yeah,
he's gay.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, what is going on? I
So,
really think that
uh,
that a lot of women have this thing where they they're like there's like a status or like a he's dangerous or whatever. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
keep
that's
going.
maybe it's, it's an ancient genetic thing. I have no idea. It's a weird thing, but I feel like, you know women do have this bad boy thing going
That's
on.
true.
Not all of them, of course. I don't mean it. I'm a woman too, please. But overall, some people do actually have that, and it
Oh,
creeps me out. Actually, like,
look. Speaking of that, look, we are all over the place. But look, Ted Bundy.
The murder trial of Theodore Bundy goes into its fourth week.
Oh, guys, I wish that they still have this mid-Atlantic accent. The murder trial of Ted Bundy is over there, over there, over there.
I love those actually.
And now, in today's news, President John F. Kennedy will he be voted president even though he's a Catholic? Like, okay. Does anyone know where the mid-Atlantic accent came from? Anyone? I'll give it like 5 seconds. Let me know if you know where it came from. And Josh, you are correct. He said I've been on prison days. That's because that's the point. Yeah, I've been in jail.
Dude.
That's true. So the mid-Atlantic accent came in the late 1800s and early 1900s, and it was an amalgamation of like a southern accent and a couple other things, but it was literally made for the okay. That's when they were creating like an American social kind of aristocracy, right? These were the people who were investing in stocks and patents and all of that, right? And they literally said, we need to have a way of speaking that puts us above people. So they invented this accent, and it's called the Mid-Atlantic accent. And what happened is that these people started being personalities that you knew, so they were the first ones that could invest in radio and TV and all of that. So that's why these personalities, this is before Hollywood. So if you notice, if you look at like Law and Order SVU, right? You ever notice how Law and Order is in New York, but no one speaks with a New York accent. Everyone's from California. So the California West Coast accent, like what I have, is the default accent in the States. You will even go to the South, where everyone else has that deep Georgia accent or that Alabama accent, but then, hi, this is the Alabama news. Like, wait a minute, that's not how people in Alabama speak. But I would say from when radio first started to about the mid 70s, everyone had this mid-Atlantic accent. Everyone from CBS, NBC, and they all have that. Even if you watch, like, and then Ali is fighting Frazier, and he hits him in the face with the uppercut. Oh my goodness, watch that Ali fight, you know? So,
can I say something?
yeah.
So my parents obviously can't speak English, but when they try to impersonate, like when they try to impersonate certain things, they always impersonate that mid-Atlantic accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially my dad. He just speaks gibberish, like but it sounds exactly like what you're talking about, and it's so funny.
So a lot of my friends from like England and stuff, or like my Argentinian friends, they always do Southern accents because they think that's like, no, that's not how. Hi there. I'm from Tyler, Texas. How you doing today? How you doing? You know? Okay, who was old enough to remember Ross Perot? Does anyone remember him? I bet. Well, no, that kind of dates me. But so Ross Perot ran for president in 92, right? It was Bill Clinton and George Bush's dad. And Ross Perot was so Gracie's in the house. Gracie probably remembers Ross Perot. Josh, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say that Ross Perot was the original Trump. And I'll tell you why. Okay. Ross Perot, first of all, Ross Perot, he was so rich, he funded his own presidential campaign. He was an oil millionaire, almost billionaire from Texas. He was this short, big-eared dude that had this Texas accent, right? And he ran as an independent, right? He wasn't Democrat. He wasn't Republican, right? He ran as an independent. And so Trump said he was an outsider. Ross Perot actually was. Like he wasn't trying to be part of the Democratic ticket. He wasn't trying to. I'm not talking about politics, but it was so funny going from like George Bush, who's this I can't even do his accent. This straight laced talk, and then there's good old smooth talk Bill Clinton. There's a noise. So Luna, I had to mute you real fast because there's some type of noise. So maybe your microphone's moving around.
Maybe. Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't aware.
Yeah. And then you have smooth talking Bill Clinton, right? And then you have Ross Perot. And I remember that was the very first presidential race. I was 12 at the time, that I remember watching. It was must-see TV, you know? And yeah, and then of course he got bodied by the Simpsons, you know. The Simpsons was making fun of him forever, you know. So, but anyways, so this is Ted Bundy's trial groupies.
In Miami today, after a long weekend, Friday's session was delayed because the defendant was suffering from a virus. He's accused in the sisters. Robin Lloyd of station WTVJ.
Each day, the courtroom is filled with spectators drawn by a fascination with Theodore Bundy himself or by the gruesome details of the crimes. Bloodstained pillows.
Ugh. Okay. Ugh.
What is unusual to see is that many of the onlookers are women, young women, contemporaries of the 5 Florida State sorority sisters who were assaulted in their beds.
What? So they were in the same sorority as the women that he essayed in Florida. That's crazy.
A year and a half ago.
Every time he turns around, I kind of get that feeling. Oh no, he's gonna get me next.
But yet you're.
Did you just?
That is so disgusting for some reason.
Did you? I'm so sorry, guys. I shouldn't laugh. This is so bad. You have to laugh. You have to laugh to keep from crying, man. What is going on with people?
Yeah, Mighty is right. Wait, I thought that too. Like, who is this guy? And I googled him.
Okay. There are some people who just have that X factor, especially men. Okay, I'm not trying to give names, but my best friend, this is a guy that I've known for 22 years. If you saw him, you would be like, what is going on? He would get girls so easily. He is physically on a scale of 1 to 10, he's probably like a 5, right? And somehow he just had that charisma. He just had that aura. I don't understand. Like, we would go out to eat in college at like a Burger King. We would go grab a burger, and there was like a kind of cute girl at the register. And then he would be like talking to her, and next thing you know, I would come home from class, and she's at our house. I'm like, how did you do that? But some guys just have it. They just have that aura, that charisma, that charm. I don't know. And then he had it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
We say in Turkish, that guy has the devil's feather.
Oh yeah, that's a good saying. That is a good saying.
You're fascinated by him.
Very, very. Every night when I go to bed, I just, I get very scared. I shut my door and lock it.
I'm not afraid of him. He just doesn't look like the type to kill somebody. You try to imagine yourself in his place and to see how he's feeling, looking at the pillows with blood stains and everything, if he really did it or not.
The trial has drawn women from as far away as Seattle, where
What? And this is in Florida. What?
Bundy is suspected of other sex murders. Why is this happening? According to one psychiatrist, it is a...
Look at that. He's like, I'm going to show that I'm a psychiatrist by wearing my doctor's coat.
mixture of fear, intrigue, and in particular, sexual attraction.
And so, yes, I do think this is, in an underlying sense, a sexual attraction, using that word very broadly for the moment.
I think that a lot of it's status and attention too, right? So like, this guy has all the cameras on him. And you know what it is though? To me, there's a lot of people that like will be in shows and stuff or like in magazines, and they are not that attractive. So for instance, Sarah Jessica Parker, right? She is not that attractive of a woman. She's not, right? I'm sorry. Like I know women that I've met in my personal life that are much more attractive, but it's like Hollywood gives them that status. It's like tells you they're attractive, and people think that they are. Like I don't understand. So,
but there's no question but what violence does quicken the pulse.
Oh, or for instance, here's an example. And all the women in the chat, John Legend got sexiest man alive. John Legend? Are you serious? Like, look. I'm a heterosexual male, so what do I know? Well, I think that I have a good baseline of what a handsome guy is, especially like a handsome black guy, because I am black. Idris Elba, I could see, yes, fine, but John Legend? I think it's just because he's on magazines and in picture. I that completely missed me, you know.
Of many people, and certainly of young women.
The young women themselves aren't too sure what it is that attracts them to the trial.
See?
Are you a little scared when you look at them?
Yes, it scares me to be in the same room with them, but I know there's other people in there. So
Why do you do it?
I don't know.
Why do you do it?
Because
Reporter
no one
of the
knows.
year.
Because evolution. I
Robin
guess.
Lloyd for
I don't know.
CBS News, Miami.
Oh my goodness! Wow! Who would have known? Yeah, this was going on for a while. Look at this. This is a.
But by the way, when I speak, does the squeaky noise still come? I
No,
have no idea
no,
why it's
no.
happening.
It's gone now. So,
And maybe I moved it too much.
that's fine.
The microphone.
And charmed to match, crisscross the country, a devious
Oh no! Sorry guys, this is a network one. This will get us yeeted off of here. I don't want to do that. So, but here there was another one that I was going to show you guys about people in jail. And guys, here is the link for anyone else that wants to join. Gracie, that is so true. That is absolutely so true. I have seen some of the most gorgeous women that I've ever met have been in person, like in my personal life, right? I have seen women that are better looking than Beyonce, better looking than and all these people in my personal life. I honestly believe that human beings, we like to go with the group, right? So if the group says that this person's attractive or whatever, you know, then we want to go with it. But there's people that I just don't get. Like people are like, oh yeah, they're so cool and they're so hip and this and that, and I don't understand. On 1 second.
There's also this situation. I read it somewhere, but I can't cite it. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
So basically, the psychology behind it is people basically see these people equal to the idea of God.
Yeah,
does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yep.
So most of the I was about to speak German. Hold on. For example, like people like serial killers actually impress people a lot, like it in a way that mysteriously, you know.
Yeah.
People look at these people and they're like, they wonder how they can kill. Oh, I'm sorry, how they can delete this person. Oh,
yeah.
Or how could they
just
do this?
live outside of our social norms. You know what I'm saying?
So they equal this type of idea to the idea of God, because you know, I'm sorry if you're a believer. I mean, no disrespect, but basically they think only God can do something like this.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's why.
Well, I think that people. Okay, so yeah. Okay, here we go. We talked about who did we talk about? The company that was part of the bad Germans from the 30s and the 40s. We talked about a particular corporation, and either way, so like at that time in the 30s and in the early 40s, well, the 30s, everything basically led back to Germany at that time, right? If you look at all economics or whatever, it was nuts, right? And think about it. Fanta was owned by Coca-Cola, was the national soft drink of the bad guys of the Germans in the 30s, right? GM made planes and tanks for the United States, but they also owned Opel and made planes and tanks for the bad guys who lived in Germany at the time. So, people are always fascinated by Germany at that time and how that particular group of people can basically run everything like it's so far outside of our social norms that we have now, that people are really, really fascinated with how that happened and how that was like a way to exist. Does that make any sense? Am I making Any sense there? Like you look at everyone who ran that group, and I don't want to say that N word or I'll get yeeted, right? But all those guys. Okay, so let's not type that N word either. Okay, guys, please don't type that word. But those people and what they were doing at the time is so fascinating to people who just look who look at the way that other countries have ran before and since. So, and I'll leave it at that. Let's see.
Wiped off my record. The felony state that was part of the
okay.
Up at the door. Brody Pinto, 2 years. They kept trying. I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. You ain't gonna.
Hold on.
Him.
There.
A pharmacist actually and a lawyer decided they were going to rob pharmacies because who'd believe it? They were upstanding members of the community, and they got away with it for a long time. They each made $10,000 a pharmacy, $10,000 a piece per pharmacy, and they got a good many of them. But he was a genius.
Oh, hey guys! So for those of you who don't live in the States or never, if you go to pharmacies in West Virginia, they have like bulletproof glass and cages because so many of them get robbed or held up. You know what I'm saying? So if you go into like a Target or a Walgreens or whatever, they've been robbed and stuff so many times that it looks like a fortress, you know?
As he wrote my meals, I paid him to do it, and my numbers went higher and higher, and he gave me the workouts to do. And it when you're stagnant working out, a lot of times it's because you don't know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing. Steve taught me a whole lot with that. So I made my meals. Instant rice, refried beans were typically in it, and I ate up to 15 to 20 packs of mackerel someday.
So everyone might so I would disagree here and not say that it wasn't Germanic, it was just Western European. And people might get butt hurt because I agree with this and I am black. But here's the thing. If you ever read the book Guns, Germs, and Steel, great book. Guys, conflict breeds the most progress, right? People, warfare, etc., makes people move forward, right? If you look at World War I and World War II, which I just call the World War with a break in the middle, we went into World War II with biplanes and Zeppelins still, right? And we came out of World War II with nuclear power, radar, rocket ships, you know what I'm saying? All types of medical advancements. If you go most of the places around the world, South America, North America, Asia, they had a lot of room. So you have tribes fight and say, you know what? I'm just going to go over here and leave each other alone. But Western Europe is so small that they were fighting for. Western Europeans have fought each other more than almost any other group in the world. So they advanced more than anyone else in the world. Oh, you know what? We might have to go to war with these French again soon. So let's make sharper swords. Or let's make more powerful bows. Or here, there's this that's what I meant is that the UK, they have, you know, the Celtics and the UK is Anglo-Saxon, right? And then you have the Teutonic people. But my point is that between herding animals that the Western Europeans did a lot more than anyone else, and overcoming diseases, and then the conflicts that made them make armor, utilize, because remember the Chinese made gunpowder first, but the Europeans were the ones that actually weaponize it more than anyone else. So that's where that need to invent and innovate came from. Was all the way back in the Roman times where they were fighting and bopping each other upside the head with clubs and shields and all this other stuff, and they were just fighting over this small part of land. Because remember, you can fit all of Western Europe in the United States Pacific Northwest. So you can fit I don't know. if you knew this or not, but you can fit Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, the UK in the Pacific Northwest. So Montana, Idaho, Washington State, and Oregon is the size of Western Europe.
Nice.
and think about all the ethnic groups that live in those areas. The Germans, the French, Belgium, all these other places are all in there, and they've been fighting ever since. So, but anyways,
I buy mackerel from people because mackerel were the money at the
all right, dude.
Trying to make my lunch.
I forgot where it was.
You know, here you see you know. No, this is not going to work. You know, that's unacceptable. Nobody should have to put up with that. Seeing that, you know, no, that's unacceptable. So I would torment him. I would torment him endlessly. Now, I took over one of 7 TVs in Carolina Hall and at that prison after 4 TVs had the Kardashians, 2 had sports, 1 had Telemundo, and I don't watch Gordon.
Lacandela, what's going on, man? Where the heck have you been, bro? guys, for those of you who don't know, Lacandela's in Seattle now, so, and that's where I'm from originally. So,
flock and none of that stuff. And even if I could understand it, I don't believe I would like it. Okay. If you want to look at, and people are like, well, we like to look at the girls. I mean, they had dirty magazines. Okay. Petersburg Loeb makes calendars. If you got a calendar,
probably. Let me get rid of this. Hey, this is a video. This is a YouTube channel called The Villains, guys, and they are pretty good, and they have some really good documentaries. This will be the last video that we can watch, but check this out, guys. Everyone, please like the stream. The Cash App's there if you want to drop something there. But yeah, let's go.
Watson was an inmate at a California prison, sharing a cell with David Bob and Louis Conti, both of which were serving life sentences for aggravated sexual assault of an underage child.
Oops.
Day in and day out, Watson...
John said, I can't follow what this guy is saying. I told you guys his accent.
Oh, it wasn't my fault. Oh, I wasn't saying anything because I didn't want to embarrass myself. Like, I had an easier time listening to Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob.
And saw how the two felt no remorse and how they went on to brag about their crime.
What?
They even allegedly taunted him by watching PBS Kids in a shared...
Wait, this guy has another channel. I know his voice. Okay.
Prisoner space. I could not sleep having not done what every instinct told me, said Watson in his confession letter. First, he tried moving to a different facility to get away from his violent tendencies, a request that was later declined.
Has anyone ever heard of diesel treatment? Let me know, guys, if you've heard of that. It's yes, I do watch JCS. So guys, a diesel treatment is when you make the guards so angry that they will just keep transferring you over and over and over again, and like from prison to prison, and then you'll stay on the bus, shackled on the bus. So you'll stop at a facility, and then they'll give you some nasty food. They'll let you use the bathroom, and then off you go on the bus again. There have been guys who've been on buses for months. Imagine sitting in like a school bus style bus with your hands and your legs shackled in an uncomfortable position for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and then you never leave the bus. It's crazy.
Watson finally gave in and decided that he'd, quote, just do everybody a favor, and picked up a cane and started beating them. He openly confessed the killing to the guards and is now serving a bigger sentence. Now, it's bad enough to be a child molester, but to show it off is even worse.
Yeah.
The same way ex-cops are hated in prison, child molesters are treated worse. The system has taken some action in the past to protect such inmates, so let's dive.
Has it really?
Dive in to understand how a child molester is treated in prison. Now, if anybody goes to prison, nobody advertises their wrong.
Wow, I didn't know this, guys. 11.6% of the federal inmate population consists of prisoners incarcerated for SA. Wow.
Federal inmate population consists of identity or child prostitution. Higher security means higher protection, but it's the other way around. A higher security level means more hardened criminals like murderers and racists.
Sorry, guys. I just got to skip through some of this other stuff. Whoa, look at this guy.
Ooh, he destroyed it.
Yes.
Oh, I know this guy. This vigilante
Miley
guy,
Watts.
right?
Yes, he is from Audit the Audit. Thank you very much. Yeah, because I watched Audit the Audit too. Yeah. Wow, man, that was killing me. Yeah.
Countless.
Yeah, he has that radio voice. Hello there.
Stories about sex offenders getting harassed, attacked, and brutalized as part of the institutional culture.
Don't feel bad for you.
If they can't get protective custody, they have to force their way into long-term solitary confinement. Kick the sex offender to the ground and stomp them in the prison guard's view. To avoid being the next David Bob or Louis Conti, first things first, don't brag.
Well, that's a given, but you think that these knuckleheads would know this by now, you know?
There's nothing to be proud of here. Keeping a low profile is important. There's no need to needlessly carry a fake alias because some prisoners, Robert Munger, he threw some of the verified.
This is Reacher. If you haven't seen this show, this is a great show, man. It's on Amazon Prime. Check it out, man. It's a fantastic show.
And sex offenders. Starting with the brutal murder of the loudmouth, Mr. Robert Munger.
He calls him a loudmouth. I like how he's not even trying to be unbiased here. You know what I mean? So let's see. We'll watch a couple more minutes of it. That's true. Maybe you could, not do the crime too. Yeah.
In 2020, Shane Goldsby was moved to the Airway Heights Correction Center, or AHCC, in Washington, where he was a
AHCC. Do I know that? Where that is? Huh?
Cellmate with the convicted child molester, Robert Munger.
Ugh.
Goldsby shared.
Look at this fucking guy. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Look at the guy on the right. Oh no. Oh yikes, dude. He's not the type of person, if you had to show up to a school and it was a parent-teacher meeting, this was the guy that was supposed to teach your kids. No, I'll homeschool. Thank you very much.
Robert Munger. Goldsby shared how Munger bragged about his crimes. Considering that he was charged with first-degree child rape, 3 counts of child molestation, and
sorry guys, I got
first
to
and
get the word.
Second-degree child porn possession. You can imagine Goldsby's ears were full. According to Goldsby, quote, he kept giving me details about what happened and what he did. About the photos and videos of him doing this stuff. Before he could turn a deaf ear, he heard a story that was too familiar. One of Munger's stories was literally about Goldsby's underage sister.
What? Did you hear that?
Goldsby
That
said,
is
quote,
one hell of irony. Like, holy crap.
Look, I was like, this stuff doesn't happen. You're talking the same institution, the same unit, the same pod, and the same cell. That's like hitting the jackpot in the casino 7 times.
It's like, what the? This stuff doesn't happen, he told the local broadcaster KHQ. You're talking the same institution, the same unit, the same pod, and the same cell as this dude. That's like hitting the jackpot in the casino 7 times. Seeing it as an opportunity of a lifetime, Goldsby hit Munger in the face and head area about 14 times.
Wow.
Then stomped on his head at least 4 times, gave him a few kicks, and walked away. Munger ultimately died of his injuries.
Wow. Good
This all
riddance.
seems too good to be true.
A good riddance to bad rubbish, right?
True, isn't it? This is why Goldsby felt that it was a setup, and that the prison officials intentionally put him face to face with him.
Oh, that might be true too. Because what are the odds, right? And this is what I said at the beginning, guys, that the guards and stuff, they do this on purpose. The only people who hate these types of guys worse than the prisoners are the guards. So they will knowingly manipulate the situation.
Next up, we have a former Cobb County church and school volunteer named Cesar Pastrana, who admitted to molesting 9 boys.
Man.
In 2012, he was sentenced to life in Hancock State Prison in Sparta. In March 2020, a fight broke out at 12:15.
If you can call it a fight, it's probably like, you 12 dudes jumping on him and beating him up.
15 p.m., leading to the death of Pastrana. According to the Georgia...
Wow, serving life sentence. Wow, look at that. That's man.
Georgia Department of Corrections, quote, another inmate on March 13th.
Have reason to believe as a result of injuries sustained during an altercation. Wow.
Although it is not clear whether his death was related to the crimes he committed against minors.
Of course it
or
was.
Whether it was an unrelated incident, many believe that the other inmate attacked him for abusing innocent children. For now, his death is ruled out as homicide.
Wow.
Now, some would argue that a fate worse than death is torture. Now, to some extent, they're right, especially considering what the 45-year-old inmate Charles shares about...
Oh, no. No. Yikes,
Britain's
that's terrible.
toughest jails, Moreland Prison. He told Vice News that he had witnessed a sex offender held him down, cut him across the nips, his face, and then one of the lads stuck a blade in his...
Ah, yikes. And on that note, guys, I'll drop the link to this video right here, so we can. I don't want to get yeeted off further. And it's weird because they can. This video is monetized, but I think that if you play this type of stuff on a live stream, that's too much. You can get in trouble. So, but yeah, guys, I guess that the number one point of this is don't do bad things to kids.
Or you'll be suffering in prison.
You might end up in jail, man. And bad stuff is it's not when. I mean, it's not if. It's when. Will happen to you. It will. And there's nothing that you can do about it. I don't care how tough you think you are. You got 12 dudes coming at you, man. It doesn't matter what kind of, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA stuff man. They're gonna get you. They are going to. And honestly, guys, I said, I don't feel bad. This is why you don't do this type of stuff. So, Luna, do you have any closing comments or anything? Wait. How is the jail system in Germany?
Oh, good question. I have no idea.
Oh, and I hope you never find out, right?
Yeah, but I can't speak in behalf of Turkey. So I only know military prisons. It's from my dad, but there's weirdly a really harsh there's a hierarchy, but I think it isn't super different from the USA version. A lot of things are similar, except there's this weird how can I say it? There's this weird respect thing going on. For example, people usually don't hurt thieves who just wants to get by.
What?
Yeah, they of course they're in prison, but they don't beat them up or do weird stuff to the thieves, because especially if they're trying to get by. like unless like this was a recent situation during the earthquake in Turkey. A lot of like weirdos, a lot of people actually try to steal from the basic victims.
Mm.
And the police was furious with them. You may even find some videos on the internet where the police is beating these people up.
Wow.
Because like something like this, like there are so many like people who suffer, people who sadly passed away during this earthquake, and there are like creeps who try to steal from victims, and like there was no mercy for these people.
Wow.
For example. But in general, like if you just off one person or two, they don't care. In prison, like there's this weird respect. But if you, as I said, grape someone, or like if you're a pedo, there's a high chance that you might get, like you might be offed in the prison in Turkey. That's what I can say.
This is a video. Hold on, it's called "What German Prisons Do Differently," and I guess they toured prisons in Hamlin and in Berlin and saw the difference. And they're saying that they can do different. They can make things different because they treat people in a much more humane way. And I always say, guys, that Americans, our prisons are pretty bad. I mean, you go to Canada, Norway, or whatever, even England and stuff, man, they're a lot better than they are here. But
there is very little plant people who are incarcerated, the people that work in the prisons. There's little grass or trees, very little plant life. This is just what the absence of life and joy can be.
Well, that's the whole point of prison, right? So is that a bad thing?
So we went to Germany to understand how you can...
Can you guys hear this? Luna, can you hear this?
Yep, I can hear.
Do things differently. They've taken the structures, the architecture around prisons, and they've modified them and changed the people inside them. They run their prisons based in human dignity and organized around the principle of normalization, that prisons should replicate the outside community as much as possible.
It's not gonna fly in America, Jack. Oh man, this is completely anathema to the American style of even budgeting and spending money on prisons, right? Like we literally, our private prisons do stuff for the lowest bidder, right? They literally say if Luna's company usually spends $9 million on a prison, I can do it for 4.5 million. It's like, wait, but where's that? Where are you saving that money at? And a lot of it's because Americans don't care about offenders, you know?
They learn that this job is about relationships, and that relational safety is just as important as...
How many people do you see smiling in this video? Josh says, that's nicer than my apartment. Yeah, because it had a washing machine in it. You know what I mean? Like, look at it. Yeah, it had a stove. Like, look, a sink. Is that a clothes washer? An oven? Wow. It looks like a hostel room or something, you know?
You know, people aren't afraid for their safety. We saw young people laying on the courtyard, completely comfortable with each other. You would never see that in an American prison.
That's true. That is true. Because that doesn't seem like like punishment to us, you know?
And we saw young people hanging out with correctional officers without the fear of surveillance. Young people and correctional officers playing soccer.
You walk into someone's room and you can learn so much about them. They've got posters on the wall of their heroes and sheroes, and you've got TVs and you've got lighters on the table because they're smoking.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. I'm going to drop the link again. Guys, anyone who wants to call in. Do you think that this would work in America? Because I don't. I think that Americans, okay. Western Europe, huh?
I was going to say something, but go on. I'll speak later.
Western Europe doesn't have the culture of rebellion. Like the United States, if you tell us to do something, we will just not do it just because. So, for instance, the British wanted the American colonists to pay taxes. We said no, right? So our culture is literally like a culture of rebellion, and you can't tell me what to do, right? That's why we do what we want on the world stage. Fast politics. But also, the income disparity in the United States, and then how there's like concentrated poverty in the United States. I believe that that's also why we have a lot more like drug use and other things in the United States, whereas people in Germany tend to have people in Germany, the UK, there's a basic there's a basic kind of lifestyle that everyone lives, right? So I don't think that. Give me a second to articulate this. Hi, Gracie. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Yeah. Do you think that this would ever work in the United States? This whole like making prison a vacation spot.
Oh my gosh. I would hope not.
Like you and I know Americans. Like no. I don't think. I think that our culture, we need to have tangible consequences for things.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Yeah, we are not a country that does well with timeouts. Like for instance, when I was young, timeouts didn't work on me when I was a little kid. I was so wait a minute, I could do whatever I want and just stand over here. No, my parents had to whoop me to make sure I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like Americans learn through tough love, right? And
yeah.
It's funny that the farther that we've gone away from tough love is why America to me has socially got the way we're at now, because we caught.
I believe so.
Too much. Luna, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say the mindset in Germany is I'm thinking German. Hold on, I need to find the English word. So, in investing in humans. So basically, after World War II, they realized like all this war, etc., was just like making things worse. So they decided to, rather than investing in guns or some other thing, they decided to invest on humans for the education, etc. So I don't find it really like out of like insane for Germany, because they still see potential in people, I guess. I don't think it's worth seeing potential in some people. Let me be clear. Like some people don't even deserve this. But in general, the idea is like they see potential in getting better, so they try to rehabilitate. Did I use that correctly? Yeah. These people. So I think that's the reason why the prison looks so sweet. But
I can understand that perspective as well, and I do think there does need to be some sort of recovery, some sort of attempt to rehabilitate, if you will, these people. But also I want prisons to be a place where nobody wants to go.
Yeah, me too.
Because
it was my friend Adam had said that you look at Singapore. Why is Singapore one of the safest countries in the world? because the penalties for doing anything are so bad. You know what I mean? And you do not want to end up in a thing. It's weird, you know. Iceland's really safe because culturally they're like they just chill, right? But Singapore and Iceland are like the two safest places in the world, right? But Singapore, their numbers are about equal. But Singapore is straight up, wow, they are like draconian in their punishments. Like if you spit on the sidewalk, you're going to jail for a while. If you steal, if you do anything wrong. So most people, they don't break the law, and they also foster a culture of treat people the way that you want to be treated. But if you do anything wrong, dude, you are in some trouble in Singapore.
And I was looking at some videos with my parents, just like fighting and stuff like that in schools, and I was like, where are the good old boys that used to be around here? Where are the good old boys that would have stepped in like my uncles would have? And you know, my mom was like, well, honey, they can't now.
Yeah, that's true.
They're the ones that would get the worst end of it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be, you know, repaid with praise or anything. They would be, you know.
And they have it now to where if there's a bully and you're being bullied and you stand up for yourself and you fight back, you get in trouble.
Exactly.
How is that? How does that make any sense? And
Yeah.
I think that me for those of us, okay, that this guy Big Herc, the black dude that I showed you guys, he did his prison talk. He had a really good video where he was saying, because I think that Americans, we give each other belief in people and each other by saying, look, you have agency, right? Like there's opportunities here and you have to take it, right? And that Big Herc guy, he went to jail in 2002 and came out in 2016. And he had his cell phone. He said, guys, most people who are dealing drugs, they're hustlers. They're hustlers just like a Wall Street guy or a guy who's making his own t-shirt brand. But no one tells them that the hustling that you're doing selling drugs, you can sell t-shirts. You can sell real estate. It's the same thing. It's the same style. But he said, and now you have your cell phone. You have no excuse. He goes, when he went away, there was no cell phones. Now you have a whole supercomputer in your hand, and you can do business with people in Germany and people in France. There's no excuse for anyone to be doing dirt anymore. He goes, if he'd have had that phone when he was, trying to do all the dirty stuff he got caught with, if he could have put that effort into doing legitimate stuff, he'd be a billionaire, So I think that that's the American mindset in investing in people is saying, look, guys, like we have we are the land of opportunity, right? And our economy makes it. And I agree. Like coming from a black family that went from poor to being upper class in my lifetime, it's possible. But that's kind of, we don't believe that the government or that anyone should hold our hand to do so, or at least I don't. And like I said, I'm an independent, guys. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but I just believe that like we shouldn't be like a lot of other places where like you have to handhold people. So
yeah,
let's just watch the last couple minutes of this, and then we'll be.
It's very, very different. One of the things that was so striking was walking through a prison compound, and you see trees and water and swans.
It's what human dignity smells like, looks like, and feels like. And this was in a maximum security prison in Germany.
Oh, thank you. It looks like a typical place in Germany, to be honest. Like, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, well, so I agree. Okay, well, so what Josh said here, right? Okay. A lot of people choose to do illegal substances, right? If there was no people choosing to do them, there would be no drug dealers, right? So now, I don't believe that we, as a person that's from Washington State, right? There's no reason why people should be like, we have Washington State jails running out of room for people who are doing SA and deletions and stuff, because there are so many people who are going to jail for petty possession, right? So I don't believe, look, out of sheer practicality, I agree with this statement. But the issue is that you have drugs like opioids and stuff, where the addiction so strong that violence and crime comes with it. There is no way that if you can be a opioid addict and not end up having to steal and do other things. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I diverge there.
Tells us you can do this a different way. Our experiment with mass incarceration has created a uniquely American phenomenon that has prisons warehousing millions of people far away from their families.
For profit. That's what she didn't say. For profit. That's the number one thing that's the difference between the United States and almost everywhere else in the world, is that our criminal justice system ends up being for profit.
It has not worked. It has not made us safer. But we can learn from other countries like Germany, where they have systems designed around human dignity that promote restorative justice.
That's not gonna happen, dude. It's nice that this lady lives in La La Land, and I'm sorry, Gracie, if you had to drop off, but this is complete La La Land. Like, this is so not American, and like like this honestly makes me laugh. The fact that they think that this could ever be a thing here. You know what I mean?
You have to think about this. There are a lot of people in the United States.
Yeah.
So when I'm not saying Germany is the safest place in Europe, not at all, man. Like Berlin, etc. No, but Germany has, like, it doesn't have that much of a criminal situation. Okay. So that's the thing. And plus, people don't usually resort to crime because the government basically, for example, if you're jobless, the government pays you for being jobless. So, for example, if you're unemployed, and this is especially good for students, actually. Let us imagine you recently graduated, you're having a hard time finding a job, you're unemployed, you're living alone, basically you don't live with your family. The government actually pays you just enough for you to get by, so you can like put your life together, etc. And they still pay for your education if you want to. Like, if you want to go to the university, like, they pay you. So in the United States situation, I think that's different, because like you have to basically to try to climb a mountain with your fingernails in the United States to actually come somewhere. And people, I feel like, resort to crime because of that.
See, I used to believe that, and then I look at at immigrants who come here. So like immigrants from Africa, India, Asia, Southeast Asia, etc. They come here, not the Middle East, South America. A lot of them, they come here speaking no English. They don't know much. Like my friend's parents are from Cambodia, and they came here with 6 kids. His dad is now a doctor. His mom is a nurse. All the kids are all successful. So I think that like we have our hierarchy of needs met in the West, especially in the United States, where we don't see the opportunities that people who come from areas where their hierarchy of needs isn't met. So for instance, like if you come from a place where, and then you come to the United States, like, wow, so I have access to a job, food, shelter, water, medicine. Wow, that's great. For instance, I know a girl who is from Bosnia. She grew up in the Civil War in Sarajevo. She didn't have running water until she was 12, and she moved here. She never like seen you go and you turn on a sink and the water comes out. They used to play a game where after their neighborhood was shelled, they would go find the biggest piece of shrapnel to see who could find the biggest piece. So when her parents moved here, they're like, wow, we can start a business so we can get a good job or go to school. Wow, this is great, you know? So I just think that it would take a lot of Americans taking a step back and really seeing the privilege we have and wonder why is it that immigrants from other areas, the Caribbean, Africa, Asia, can come here and do better in our own system than we can in the States. So.
In my opinion, so I'm saying this out loud, but I studied Japanese, as I said, and I also have a master's in tourism. So I have plenty of diplomas running around, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, for example, the problem with government paying people in Germany is that most people prefer not to work, and that is bad for the economy, for example, and that's a problem. So that is a situation. Like they prefer, you know what, the government pays anyway. I'm not gonna work, and they suddenly boom.
That's what's happening here in the States because of the whole pandemic thing, right? Where they were paying people more not to work than to work, and our economy's hurting now. And the thing is, if you pay people, if you incentivize people not to do something, they're gonna do that. I mean, if you incentivize a person to do something like not work, they're going to not work, right? That's just how it is.
Yeah,
so we are the same way, and you have a lot of young millennials and stuff saying, why work? There's an article talking about all these working age men who just aren't working anymore.
But what I wanted to say was, with my education, I would have probably gotten a better like job opportunities in the US compared to Europe, in my opinion, because
oh really?
Especially in Germany, because in Germany things are always a bit more stable. You know, in the US, I see people usually jump from one branch to the other. For example, like the guy studied economics, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna be a comedian, and bam, he suddenly becomes a comedian. Like that sudden change, I feel like is maybe easier in the US. Like, I don't know, I see plenty of job opportunities in the US than in Germany sometimes.
Yeah, but there's people who see here's the thing about the United States that irks me, and I have a master's degree also, right? And when I went into my field, I knew that I could make a good living doing it. But from 2000, we have this 2000 until about now, we have this post-modernist. And yes, my friend's parents did flee the Khmer Rouge in the deleting fields. Yeah, it was scary stuff. They actually ran across a minefield with their 6 kids, like holding 3 kids each, ran through a minefield to get to the airport to jump on the last plane that was leaving. It's crazy. So now we have this post-modernism in college where you can major in anything you want and you'll be successful. That's not how it works. If you get a bachelor's in underwater basket weaving, you are not going to make any money, but you'll be in the same debt as a person who went to school for engineering. And my one friend, he's from Ethiopia, and he honestly thought that if Luna went to school for for engineering, and I went to school for early art history, that my degree would be cheaper because engineering you can earn more, and because of my art degree earned less, that I would pay less. That's not how it works. There are people who are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for degrees that aren't worth the paper they're printed on. How can you make a living majoring in in English. You already speak English. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? You think like there are people that I know who majored in like education or majored in French poetry. It's like, what are you doing? And now that I can't find a job, I have these student loan payments. Well, we should have known better. Science, technology, engineering, math, public policy, law, medicine, something like Arabic or whatever. You can make a good living doing all of those. Economics, accounting, finance. You know what I mean? But now you have people, they major in these majors, and they're just impossible to make money in. And then want to say, oh, well, the system isn't fair. Some skills are more valuable than others. But yeah, guys, so this is an article here. I'll drop this in the chat here. And this is about a lot of young men who are just saying, screw it. I'm just not going to work. They're just not going to work anymore.
Sikander, actually, did I even pronounce his name correctly? I'm sorry if I butchered it, but I've heard in Germany, if you fail a uni class twice, I'm sorry, I have no idea. I studied in Turkey, but so I may come off very ignorant because obviously I don't know the whole American system. I'm so sorry if any of you get offended, but
no, that's fine.
In my country too, like education is free, so I have no idea.
Well, it's not here. That's for sure. And there's a guy. There's this guy who I was watching him debate someone about this. He was saying that there's no such thing as a useless degree. It's like, well, there is now because college costs so much money. I mean, you're talking. There are people who are $200,000+ in debt for a master's degree in English or a master's in psychology or social work, and social workers don't make a lot of money. Imagine there are dentists that are $1 million in debt for student loans. $1 million.
It's sad that they like basically work so hard, but they also have to pay for it. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird concept for me because if you're a good student, you instantly go to a good university in Turkey, like as soon as you pass the examinations, for example. Wow. But another problem is I'm speaking in behalf of Turkey because that kind of a situation isn't actually in Germany. There are so many people who have bachelor degrees who are unemployed. Because every kid wants to go to university in Turkey.
Yeah, that's how it is here too.
And they go like whatever branch they want, whatever department they want to go. And the problem is for example, every city, for example, has a university. You have plenty to choose for. You have every resource to study, etc. But the problem is, suddenly you have all of these people with bachelor degrees who can't get a job.
Now, what did they major in?
Like everything you can think of, basically. I know,
but I guarantee everyone who majored in IT, and science, technology, engineering, math, finance, they aren't complaining about not finding a job.
Oh, engineer! I know an engineer who works as a waiter, dude.
Is he just bad at his job?
No, in general. But in Germany's case, for example, I see more people interested in getting money quickly. Like they want to go to internship and immediately become start working, for example. That's why university isn't so popular among Germans.
That's happening here too. So almost 70% of all students now in university are female, and a lot of men are just not going to college. Like the population of men going to college is going down every year, and men are getting more into trades. So like they're getting their IT certificates, they're driving trucks, they're doing electrical work, etc., and where you can make really good money, not have any student loan debt. So But this is the last chart that I'll show. Look at this. This is private school cost $19,000 a year in 2003, and now the average cost is $44,000 a year. Okay. In 2003, out-of-state tuition for a public school was $11,413. Now it's $27,000 for undergrad. And look, if its in-state went from $4,202 to $11,541 in 2023, and that's tuition. That's not housing. So from 2003, tuition and fees at private national universities jumped 134%. Out-of-state tuition 141%. And then in-state tuition and fees jumped 175%. So that means that if you're trying to go to school over this time, this is what we had to deal with. I started college in 2000. So you can see, like, from when I started in 2000 to when I graduated from grad school in 2011, look at the rise in costs. That's crazy, you know? And there is no cap to how much in loans that you can take out for graduate school. So you can just keep taking out loans over and over and over again. So, but yeah, I mean, all of your friends who are engineers in Turkey, tell them to move to the United States, because
that'll work better.
Yeah, we need engineers bad here. For every guys, if you're looking for a career change, go into IT, because for every one person we have IT here, there's 4 jobs. So yeah, but anyway, here we go. Tuition growth. Wow. Look at that. So,
well, I told you in the beginning, like, it's a stick with poop on both sides.
Whichever side you grab, you get poop on you.
Yeah, exactly. Education is that kind of a problem.
Yeah. Well, originally my goal was to be a dentist. That was always my dream job, which I don't really have one because I don't like to work, honestly. So I don't have a dream job.
Well,
I want to get paid to just be me, you know what I'm saying? But my dream job was to be a history professor, right? I really wanted to teach, like, World War II history, right? I love history, right? But they don't make any money. They don't. Like, I make really good money in my 9 to 5, and I would have probably be making like a third of what I make now, which is ridiculous, right? So I decided to go into the field that I'm in now. And my job is not rewarding. It's not fun. You know what I mean? It's not something I enjoy, but it allows me to have a really good personal life and have really good hobbies to where I can get on the internet and talk to all you fun people, you know? But and then I wanted to go to dental school too, but the amount of schooling and the amount of debt just wasn't worth it. So, but yeah. Anyways, with that, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. So, I appreciate you all. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, join the Discord. We still need one more volunteer for the Lauren stream on Thursday. So if you want to go for it. I think it's like I said, Steve, Luna, and Josh. And yeah, I'll be dropping a new video tomorrow. Yeah, I would rather not say, Steve. It's not anything too important, but you know, some of the stuff that we talk about, I don't want to get a call to my boss. I'm like, on the internet. So that's the country I live in the United States. So, but all right, you guys. Luna, do you have any closing statements?
Sorry for the squeaky the noise that my freaking microphone made. I wasn't aware.
No worries.
And I'm sorry if I talk very ignorant, because
no, you're in a different part of the world. Look, the only people you don't really understand how ignorant that people in the U.S. are about everywhere else in the world. There's people like some of us, like I travel a lot, right? So I understand. But if you even put the average American through a basic geography test.
Well, yeah, I sometimes see people not being able to name the flags.
You know what I mean? And it's because we don't have to know. America's so big, like you don't have to know. And I have friends of mine who are from Europe, and they go, why do Americans not travel much? Then they see the scale of the United States. You can travel to every single climate that there is and still be in the United States, right? Our country is huge. You can vacation and go, I'm going to go to Hawaii. I'm going to go to California. I'm going to go to Arizona. I'm going to see the desert, the tropical rainforest. I'm going to see the frozen north. And you can still be in the United States. So there's a reason why most people don't leave. Texas, you can start at the end of Texas and drive west, and you'll be in Texas for 2 days straight, driving 75 miles per hour. You can fit Western Europe almost in Texas, right? So, in Hawaii, Josh, there's tropical rainforest. But if you ask them where for instance Moldova is, where Guyana is, where Nepal, a lot of Americans, we just don't know. I know because I do trivia and I like geography. But what I'm saying is like Americans, how we make fun of New York because New York thinks that they're the center of the United States, and it's New York City and Texas, and New York are the same, and that they think that the United States thinks that we're the center of the world.
Yeah, I'm learning with you guys. I've never been with so many Americans in one spot. So.
but all right, you guys. On this here, I appreciate you guys. I'll drop the link to the Discord right now, and we can wrap this up. Give me 1 second. Drop this here. Boom. All right, you guys. This is AJ. I appreciate you guys, and I am out of here. We're gonna have a good one over there. Okay. Bye, everyone.
You too. Bye.